Hello everyone, and welcome to the Sincere Lifestyle. We are celebrating
love
for Valentine's Day, right?
Yes.
And not only that, it's Black History Month. So just check our channel and you'll see that we'll be celebrating both. And today we are doing a special dinner.
Yes.
And it's going to be for...
It's going to be for your loved ones. It's going to be for loving yourself. It's going to be for your yummy tummy.
All the lovers out there, you know, you want to do a quick baked dinner that's easy, that's safe, that won't have your loved one running to the bathroom.
Okay.
We wouldn't want that. So follow our easy recipe. It's going to be a great healthy dinner.
Yes.
Yummy dinner.
Yummy.
And it's going to be good.
So it's all about baked, like Karen said.
Yes.
We have soy ginger baked chicken wings.
Yes. And then we have this squash right here.
We're gonna roast it in the oven.
It looks like a pumpkin, but it's roasted. And then we have broccoli. We're gonna roast it as well. So everything is gonna be made in the oven. So what do you need for this? You need an oven.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry guys, you guys need an oven to make this recipe.
Or you can have one of those little, you know, those little ovens that you have on the counter. You know, the other oven, the small one, the toaster oven. But everything has to be a little bit smaller, and you have to do it one at a time.
All those college graduates out there.
I feel you.
In the dorm rooms.
We feel you.
We've been there.
We've been there.
And stay tuned. This is going to be part 1 of our cooking series. The part 2 is going to be a dessert. So join us. Let's get it.
Let's get it, guys.
Yeah. So we have the chicken here.
And so what you want to do is first cleanse it with either a fresh lemon or lemon juice or vinegar, and then rinse that out. And then season. So we're using a nice all-purpose seasoning of your choice. Garlic and paprika is always yummy on meats. And pepper is a must, black pepper.
Yes.
So let's get to it. So we're just gonna season.
Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty.
And don't be afraid of seasoning, guys, okay?
Yeah. Season the chicken so it has some flavor, okay?
All right. Don't be afraid of the seasoning, guys. So what you want to do is layer it on like that. And this is about, like, let's say 1 to 2 tablespoons. Oh, sorry, 1 to 2 teaspoons of each thing. Depending, like the pepper is something that is always good. You know, just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, and you season it to taste. You might not like seasoning that much, but you know what? I love it. Put a little more of that all-purpose. And then sometimes you gotta get your hands dirty, okay? Take your rings off sometimes. That's all right. And get in there. So you mix it up just to make sure that flavor is distributed throughout the chicken. The chicken wing, you wanna make sure it's flavorful, okay? So you're mixing it in there. All of the seasoning.
Let the seasoning marinate and get it in.
So what you want to do is season it and let it sit in the refrigerator for about 45 minutes, and then proceed to the next step. If you have some extra time, do this the night before to really let the flavor get in the chicken. And you know, you might be short on time and you don't even have 45 minutes. That's okay. Season the chicken, leave it in the refrigerator, do everything else, then come back to the chicken so it at least has about 20 minutes to really marinate.
Alright, so we season the chicken and we're gonna go to the next step.
Next step. So right now, I don't know how many pounds this is, but just looking at it, we need 2 pans. So prepare 2 pans with foil on top. We like to use foil because it keeps them clean. Dishes clean.
Let's work.
Let's work. And so we're going to lay the chicken on this pan, and then we're going to use this soy ginger sauce. We'll keep the link in the description box below.
Yes.
And marinate.
So I'm just gonna pour it in here.
We have a little marinating brush, which is great. So you can just brush it on there.
Yeah.
And the key is, in between intervals, we'll explain, you'll brush it on while it's cooking to really get those juices in there.
Yeah. Flip it, brush it, flip it, brush it. It's gonna be so good.
next step, now that this is all marinated, is to cover this with foil, both of them, and then preheat your oven to 375 beforehand. And then you want to bake it in there covered for 30 minutes just so it can really like cook on the inside. And then we're going to remove the foil, rotate, slather on the soy ginger, and really like do the whole browning process so it can get nice and crispy on the outside. The chicken is ready to go inside. So this is the glazed soy ginger glazed chicken. So we're gonna leave that in here covered for 30 minutes.
So we take the chicken out of the oven, and our next step is going to be
to basically flip and glaze. So you take that top foil off. Look at that, yum!
It's a nice color.
So you don't need the cover foil anymore. So be very careful. You can take your fork right there and you flip. Actually, you know what? I like a glaze. I like a good glaze. So let's just start glazing before we flip because you want to glaze as much as possible. Just a little closer. Just want all of the flavor. This soy ginger is so yummy
to seep in the chicken, you know? Mouth watering chicken wings.
Okay, girl.
You know, that's what we want. Finger licking good, okay? That is what our aim is. Yes, it is looking nice.
Okay, now that you have that on that one side, let's do the flip. Flip them all. So we're gonna do the flip. So flip each one of these bad boys, okay?
And it's a nice brown color too, which is a good sign.
You're gonna glaze that side.
Oh, it looks yummy. Big stallion. Body, yaddy, 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 yaddy.
So now we're gonna put this back in the oven, no cover on it, so 15 minutes, and then we're gonna flip it, put more glaze, and then do 15 minutes on the other side. So now guys, we just took this out. It spent 15 minutes on this side. So the next step is to flip and glaze again. So we have 2 layers of foil here because this gets a little hard to use and flip. You see how it's all charred there? So you can also put it on a new pan, whatever works for you. So we're gonna glaze it again with this soy ginger. So let's flip it and glaze the other side. You want to get the sauce really in there because this is the last time we'll be putting the sauce on there. So now we're gonna put this in for 15 last minutes in the oven. So now the chicken is ready. Look at that browning.
Ooh, sizzling, baby, sizzle.
Sizzle, baby, sizzle. So now we have the roasted squash, and what you want to do is cut this in half, scoop out the seeds, and we're going to make a sweet recipe today. So we'll be using coconut oil just to glaze on top and sprinkle with cinnamon and nutmeg. So let's get into it. So I'm using this knife. Just be very careful when you cut. Take your time. The squash is hard. Okay, that's how hard it is. So we're just going to get into it. So what I usually do is kind of like put this pointy thing down and inside. And you really just gotta go for it. It's one of those things that takes time. So get your sharpest knife and literally take your time because you don't want to hurt yourself. So I'm just putting my weight into it and just squeegeeing it. And you see it's getting somewhere. And now that I'm there, just gotta put your weight into it. There it is. Once you got that bit, boop, boop. Make that noise, it helps. There you go. Just really slice it in there. Take your time, guys, when you're cutting squash. Ooh, you hear that? Yes, getting somewhere, honey. All right. So now, that's that one side, that's really great. I'm gonna go in on the other side. Right there. Oh, I already smell the squash aroma.
It smells good.
So again, take your time. Put your weight into it. There we go. We're really almost there at this point. Okay. So now we just gotta marry the two sides. Let's try to do that. Oh, look at that. You see that opening right there? Okay, it's not exactly, you know,
aligned,
but that's okay. We're gonna make it work. They're gonna meet. There they are. Look at that. Just crack it open. Almost there. All right, this guy's a problem, but what we're gonna do is literally get in there. Look at that. Look at that. Woo!
money.
Okay, so now we're gonna scoop out the seeds. Now the next step is to put some ground cinnamon in. So we're gonna sprinkle that in. So this is about half a teaspoon. We have nutmeg, so we're gonna do about half a teaspoon of that. And sprinkle that in. And now we're going to transfer it to the pan, but before you do that, put about half a teaspoon of coconut oil on that pan and just grease it up. Lie these bad boys flat down, face down, and we're gonna put this in the oven for let's say 35 minutes at 375. So the oven is preheated at 375. It just reached that temperature. We're gonna put the squash face down in there for 35 minutes. Now let's flip these bad boys. I let them cool for about 25 minutes. You see that steam? Yum! So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna scoop this out. So now we're gonna mash this up. Mash it up real good. You have a masher, amazing.
It's like a mashed potato consistency, which is very hefty and filling and healthy.
So we can add the fixings. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of raw agave nectar. I'm also going to add about another half a teaspoon of this cinnamon, another half a teaspoon of this nutmeg. So now adding in a little more agave, cinnamon, or nutmeg is really to your taste. So I'm gonna do a little taste test here. It needs nothing else. It's so good.
All right, so we are up to broccoli.
So we're gonna roast the broccoli here.
Yes.
We have two separate pans because we want the broccoli not to be on top of each other.
Right.
We want them to like crisp in the oven. So the first step is just to lather this with olive oil. So you take about half a teaspoon, or I should say 1 teaspoon of olive oil.
Right.
And you lather it on.
I'm gonna get a brush.
Okay. She's gonna brush it on. All right, so you'll do that. And then what you also want to do is cut about half an onion, just so you can put it on top of the broccoli. So while it's roasting, it's getting that nice, yummy flavor. We're also going to season with black pepper and garlic. I would do fresh garlic, but we're doing this powdered garlic only because when you roast this broccoli, the garlic cooks super fast. So it's better to use garlic seasoning instead of actual garlic because it'll just burn.
Right. And this is so healthy. Like everything baked, nothing's fried. And your heart will love it and your stomach will love it too.
Absolutely. It's just such a yummy vegetable dish.
Grease the pan. Gotta grease it, honey. Well, you can use your hands. I'm just being fancy.
She's being so fancy right now. I respect it. I respect the fancy.
Fanciness.
So what you want to do is make sure they're like not on top of each other, and then you just
You just like put it on the. It's so simple.
so simple.
Everything is so simple, you know. You got this. I love roasted broccoli. It has like that crunch to it. And sometimes the vegetable actually has to be fresh, you know, fresh. And this is frozen, but it has that nice crunch to it, whether it's frozen or not.
Yes. And you know, just being in a pandemic, you know, the times, it's really challenging to do groceries and you know, cook all of the fresh vegetables on time. Like, you know, so getting frozen is something that, you know, has helped us during these hard times, so we can have it stored, and when we need it, we can just bring it out, you know?
Right.
So next steps, we're gonna drizzle about 1 tablespoon of olive oil here.
Drizzle, baby, drizzle.
And drizzling. Share it between the pans. Sharing some love here. So you do about half a teaspoon of black pepper here. And half a teaspoon of garlic. Now we're going to massage the seasoning. Massage.
The broccoli is getting a massage.
The spa might be closed, but the broccoli is still getting it in.
You can always give your loved one a massage too as well.
And you know, if you don't have one, that's okay. You give your shoulders and the broccoli a massage. There you go. Next step, we chopped about half an onion here, and we're going to split it between both platters. So you just want to, you know, sprinkle this on top.
Voila! We are done. Bon appetit. This is a meal for your loved one.
Yes. For the love of self.
Your love of self or significant other.
Yes.
And we have our broccoli.
Nice and roasted with the char.
Yes. And then we have our squash. This squash is so good. It's a Japanese squash and it's called
KABOCHA.
KABOCHA. And then we also have our chicken. This
nice
is
soy ginger glaze.
Yes, 3 pounds of chicken wings, and it is so good. I mean, this is gonna last. This is like 4 servings. So you know, you can have your loved one over, and then you can have the leftovers for the next day.
For yourself, okay.
Or for yourself, you know, bring it to work. Eat it in your dorm.
Okay.
Give it to your family members. Okay, so. This is a nice quick meal to do. It's safe, it's healthy, you got your proteins, vegetables.
And it's all in the oven, so it's pretty easy. So
Yeah.
let us know how it goes for you. Keep your comments in the comment box below.
And we will be cooking up part 2 for you, and it's gonna be a yummy Valentine's Day dessert.
Can't wait.
Yeah, bye.
Bye guys.